Content Media Network.
That is such a bad intro, dude. It's terrible.
What happened to the bomb clock?
Adam loves the Bruins. Oh, yeah, we get... I'm going to be remaking the whole intro. I'm going to be adding some stuff to it. But today, we don't have Kyle. He quit the show. So we are going to talk about Donald Trump first. So I got a video that we're just going to watch. Like this has been going on for a little while. Apparently, he's been held in contempt of court freaking 10 times now. And he's been threatened with jail time. But
that's my president.
Will tell us.
News: the judge in former President Donald Trump's hush money criminal trial finds
former president, whatever,
him in contempt for violating the gag order again. Trump was fined $1,000 for violating the order that prohibits him from attacking witnesses and jurors. The judge said he will consider a jail.
They don't even say what he did, I assume, because it isn't anything.
Sanction. This is the 10th time Trump has violated the gag order since his trial started.
Yeah, that's funny, right? Like this is what they're gonna put in. I also wanted to share this video, which is Alex Stein on this conservative Australian news network. But you know, he's funny. Do you guys like him? I think he's funny. Obviously, I don't agree with him on a lot of stuff.
I think sometimes he's funny.
Trial, the prosecution's decision to put Trump's former White House aide Hope Hicks on the stand appears to have backfired because Hicks, by some accounts, has pretty much demolished the prosecution's primary.
Dude, even this one does the same thing. They don't go into specifics at all. They're like, oh yeah, it demolishes the case, but they don't give you the details how, which is whatever. It's a quick set. They both did this. Both this is a right wing one. The other one was like left-ish. I don't really know. But all the news does this, man. It's like they're talking to the lowest common denominator.
Claim regarding Trump's motivation for the payment. Tell me the latest about this criminal trial and why legal experts are saying that.
I hate the Australian accent too.
I like it. On her it's terrible. She has a terrible one, but usually it's not bad.
Yeah, no, some of them are good, but like it's just based on this is what legal experts are saying. They don't even say who the expert is. They're just like, oh yeah, legal experts are saying this, and I hate that this works because if it didn't work, they wouldn't all do it.
Is that Trump's lawyer?
Hurt the prosecution.
What?
Is that
no? It was like
Trump's lawyer?
No. She was a former aide who was like supposed to testify against him, but we don't know any of the details. But apparently, it hurt the prosecution's case. We don't really even know if that's true because they're not telling us the details. But yeah, this is Alex Stein on it.
Well, first of all, this is a kangaroo court. I mean,
kangaroo court, Australia.
He's stupid. He's so stupid.
So many politicians before Donald Trump that have paid off people and didn't get in any trouble. I mean,
but he's right about that. Like this happens all the time, and only now are they gonna do anything about it when it's Donald Trump.
Bill Clinton had an intern inside the Oval Office of the White House, didn't get in any trouble. So, you know, they're just afraid of Donald Trump. They're trying to, remove him from this election any way possible. And I say this, I think this will help him in a lot of, the African-American communities and communities where people have felt.
You see what he did there? He was like, oh yeah, in the African-American communities, like, and
like they were targeted. And if they're paying attention, they're probably noticing that Donald Trump is being targeted.
He's like, oh yeah, black people have been targeted. So now it's, they're going to, which I think is actually true. It's just this guy, he doesn't know anything about it. Yeah.
I think this could actually help him. But at the same time, it's tough when he's worried that he can't go to his son's graduation, which now he can go to Barron's. But still, just all of those weird things that make it where he has no personal freedom. And he's the president. Every single president could be in jail.
Did you see that? He's the president. He literally says he is the president.
Yeah, but isn't president like one of those titles like Marine? Like you guys are never not Marines, right? Isn't the president kind of like that? He's always the president.
Yeah, they always refer to him as president. Yeah. They never refer as former president.
It's like general. Like all retired generals, general. It's like shit like that.
but he said like, but he's the president. That's a different thing than calling him President Trump. Like he's still President Trump, but he's not the president. This is the lowest energy Alex Stein video I've ever seen. Yeah, and he's still pretty upbeat, but usually he's like out there. We did a video on him last week. Actually, one of his. He was screwing with the protesters.
I'm surprised that Alex Stein didn't say Bill Clinton had a intern underneath the Oval Office desk in the Oval Office.
Yeah,
he didn't say that on live TV.
That's way more his style, but you know, he's definitely like being more serious than normal.
I feel like all this stuff just helps him too, dude. He's like to the boomer cons. He's goated. It's over.
Yeah,
he's
certified.
He's certified legend, dude. Like we're people in our age, and then like. You know, we're gonna be talking to our kids. It's like, you know what, the Reagan years. We'll be like, dude, the Trump years.
I mean, dude, the first 4 years were great, but the second 4 years were killer.
He's the funniest president ever. Not even close.
100%.
That's cool to see.
So funny.
And there's like this big like anti-establishment like atmosphere in politics right now, and Trump like represents that to a lot of people. Like even if you don't agree with them. He's just this like, I don't know. He just made himself as like this outsider from DC. And I know a lot of ways he's not really, but that's how a lot of people view him. That's how my parents think. He's a businessman that got in. It's like, well, they're, you know, they had cocktail parties together. They're kind of like in relation. Like,
he's a New York liberal, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, listen to what he says the last 13 seconds.
The drone strike every 20 minutes for 8 years.
Barack Obama said a drone strike every 20 minutes for 8 years.
That's also true.
I mean, George Bush did some horrible stuff too. So, you know,
George Bush did some horrible stuff too, like invading Iraq.
Presidents are perfect people, and they're holding Trump to a higher standard than they would anybody else because they want him.
Yeah, and that's true. Like people will, if you talk to liberals, they won't like acknowledge any of the other stuff. Like nobody cares when I bring up like, yeah, Obama drone striked like a American kid. They just don't seem to care at all. But with Trump, it's like, oh,
good. Fuck them kids.
Oh God. Yeah. So Donald Trump.
But no, they don't. They won't ever do. They won't ever hold other presidents to the same standard. The Trump derangement syndrome is a thing. Like it is a thing. The media has it. The majority, I think a lot of Americans have it on both sides. The derangement syndrome isn't just like, oh, he's the worst thing in the world. The derangement syndrome is he's the best thing since sliced bread, like it goes both ways, but it's just funny to see the standards that people will keep for Trump, and then when you bring up their favorite president, it's just not the same standard whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think he's just funny. Excuses. Like that's what makes him like the best. Like Adam, is there any other president you could think of that was like funny? Like no. I don't know, it kind of falls into like comic world,
No, I mean Obama was like witty, like he was kind of quick, but like
nerdy though.
Yeah, like outright funny. No, like it was just straight Trump. I mean, like Bush was.
He's charismatic. Obama was very charismatic, and so is Bush.
But Bush was unintentionally funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was
right.
It was kind of like he was like a goofy cowboy.
Right. He was. Just,
I wonder if
like, the fool you once thing, like that whole thing, is hilarious, and he wasn't trying to be funny. He's just fucking stupid.
Like, oh yeah. No, I'm gonna pull that up. Keep talking. I'm gonna pull that up.
Yeah. Well, that's actually whatever J. Cole song is called. It's like the beginning of it.
Fool me one time. It's actually in the middle, but fool me one time. Right. Shame on you. But fool me can't get fooled again. Because he can't remember the saying.
Riddle or whatever.
Yeah, he can't remember the saying. Yeah, dude, that's in No Role Models by J. Cole. We could talk about rappers. I could talk about rappers today.
I love J. Cole. Yeah, so other things we're going to talk about today, so stay tuned. we're going to talk about the Kendrick Lamar stuff. Kendrick Lamar and Cat Williams are two heroes, definitely. His beef with Drake, which the only reason we're talking about it is because it has like large scale cultural implications. So talk about the what's that called? The Nick Fuentes thing. I got a rage bait video pulled up for you guys on that one. But yeah, let's listen to this. This is a classic, man.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, it says, fool me once, shame on you. You fool me, you can't get fooled again.
Do you think it's a character, dude?
Everybody laughs. No, I think he actually forgot. I think he actually forgot.
Yeah,
he just
right.
went with it.
No. The whole thing. It like, do you think like maybe George Bush is super really intelligent and he's just playing this dumb character because he's not even from Texas. He's from Connecticut.
Yeah, but I mean, they largely grew up in Texas. Their oil fields are in Texas. Like,
yeah.
But you know, I think these. I don't even know how to explain it in like real words. It's just like a feeling. But these people, like, they're from families that have been in power and have been in power for a long time. Whether it's just in oil or politics or business of some kind, whatever. And they've raised kids because they weren't a part of their kids' lives a whole lot, and they've raised kids that were held to really great expectations and could never live up to them because they didn't have parents in their life, or they were just, you know, there was no way that they could live up to those expectations. And so they've just been fumbling through life, but they have a name, so they're put in positions of power. Like, I just truly believe that that's like a large percentage of this.
Yeah. And plus, he's just a president. The president doesn't have that much real power. Yeah. Especially now. I mean, Bush, like, a lot of people think that Cheney was really in charge, and I kind of tend to agree with them. And then,
at least for foreign policy, I would say so.
Yeah. There's a conversation to be had about, like, when stupidity goes into, like, being evil. I don't know. But I got rage bait for you guys.
Okay, let's see the rage bait.
And this is on the topic of Nick Fuentes.
Who's back on X, by the way?
Yeah.
Don't call it X. Call it Twitter. Don't call it X. Don't call it X.
Don't tell me what to do.
Elon Musk is restoring the Twitter account of white supremacist Nick Fuentes.
White supremacist Nick Fuentes. I hate her face.
Responding to a heavily edited image of Fuentes, he said he cannot claim to be a defender of free speech, but then permanently ban someone who hasn't violated the law, no matter how much I disagree with what they say, which he said will probably cause X to lose a lot of advertising.
Yeah, and this dumb bitch obviously wants, like, censorship. This is what happens when you let women have opinions and vote. Get rid of it.
But a principle is a principle. Is it though? Elon Musk claims to be deeply committed to defending free speech. So much so that he's willing to restore the account of a man described as a white nationalist, white supremacist.
It's just like described as. Like, who cares what someone describes them as?
And Holocaust denier, which is weird because.
Yeah, no, I think he is a white supremacist. Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure.
And I don't like Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's described as it, but he also just like claims it himself. So I don't know why they keep using described as. They can just say self-proclaimed. It sounds smarter. And
but she would use this even if it wasn't real.
Absolutely.
Like, that's why she's using that phrase.
Look at that face.
Because in December 2022, he briefly banned and suspended several high-profile.
Look at what?
Sid the Sloth. Look at those eyes. They're so far apart.
Yeah, from Ice Age.
Journalists from the platform claiming they had violated a doxing policy. These journalists hadn't violated any law, seeing as the information.
Okay, we know that Elon Musk is playing, like, optics. We know that. It's pretty obvious. Also, he said permanently ban someone from his profile. Like, does she not? Whatever.
Was about Elon Musk's private jet location data that is still online and accessible. More recently, he also suspended.
Okay, I don't care. She sucks. I don't want to hear from her. It's boring rage bait. Like her, this is what happens when somebody has nothing important to say. They're just gonna, like, I guess if you create some content like that, whatever. But like, all she's doing is reading off tweets. Like, just go to Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
I think I have some. I think I have some tweets we can read if you guys want. I was gonna bring up. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Do it.
I was just kidding. I just think the Fuentes thing, it's not that big of a deal. I think Alex Jones coming back to Twitter was crazier than Fuentes coming back to Twitter. And I'm pretty sure I've said on this podcast that Fuentes is like a weak-looking man, and no matter how right he is on anything, I'd never follow him into any kind of battle. So,
yeah. I think it's still pretty crazy though that some kid that he got banned, like basically completely banned at 18, and had still maintained enough of influence in politics where it was like such a big deal that, I mean, they made a big deal. If you look at the hit pieces that all the news networks came out with, it was all targeted at him. So there is like a major reason why they don't like him, and they don't give that many media treatment so heavily and continue on for someone so long. So for some reason, the system really does not like the views of Nick Fuentes, and I think a lot of people know why. But
yeah,
and for him to come back, I mean, he was blackballed by Con Inc. and everybody blocked him, and then he was able to come back. It means like there's a road to redemption, in at least somewhat in the system now because of Elon. And I don't know. I don't think this is gonna work. I think the Nick Fuentes type is the counter. It's probably going to be one of the lead people countering Con Inc. Like, he has massive influence over like young people. Like, his influence is crazy. I don't know. I think this, like, him coming back is going to change the dynamic a lot. I think he really does have a lot more influence than I ever thought he did, and that's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that actually likes him.
No, and that's what I wonder. I wonder how much of it is like influence and how much of it is like people follow him because of like you want to keep an eye on it, because it's kind of, I mean, we talk about it and none of us like him. I don't follow him, I don't think, but
but like
follows him here.
I don't talk, like, I'm not friends with anybody that follows him. I have a couple of followers that are, but really every interaction I've had with his followers, of which there are many, like, there are many, and their profiles are based on the Groiper thing, which is like his thing. And they're like, they attack like anybody who's like to the left of them, even far right people that I know. Like, the Groipers will attack them. One of my close friends, I won't name him because I don't want to get this up, but he's got a huge following, like 70,000 followers on Twitter. Not huge, I guess, but really large following on Twitter. And he's like a far right guy, and he got accused of being either sympathetic to the Jays or a Jay himself, and like it's insane. And they just came after him like crazy, like to the point that like he like. I don't want to give away too much information, but like it changed his plans with putting out content because of like the harassment he was getting from them. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I've heard many stories about that.
Sorry, what exactly is a Groiper? Like, what's the self-proclaimed definition of Groiper?
They're
is it just
they're followers,
white nationalist?
Yeah, and specifically they're anti-Jewish, right? And they're followers of Nick Fuentes.
So far right, anti-nationalist, follower
I would say
Fuentes, anti-Jewish.
I feel like he's also he's pretty Catholic, devout Catholic. So his message is mainly to Christians, is who he's messaging.
Oh, right, Christian nationalism. That's what it is.
Yeah,
JC, I think, hit it on the head. It feels weird, culty for young kids that are trying to find their way through a weird time in our history. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
Anybody whose entire following is like, or like the majority of their following is 18 to 24-year-olds, it's like, and it's on this large scale, like not smaller places or smaller pages or things like that are like they're 18 to 25. And I guess you know what, like Fuentes is 25 himself, so I can't really talk too much shit about that. But he's young. I feel like he's older. I don't know. Maybe it's because he's been in the limelight for a while. But I just think it's weird that 25-year-olds or 18 to 25-year-olds are like, this guy is like correct in everything that he says.
I just got a text from Team Trump.
Oh, yeah, what did it say?
It says, from Trump, the end of my campaign will never come because I have you. Reply to stop to opt out or go to the website.
It's because of you, Adam. It's because of you.
That's hilarious. You signed up for it, though, dude. So you wanted those messages. You wanted Trump to tell you that.
Dude, I'm getting
That's
so
what
many
gets you up every day.
so many fucking political texts now from like every party. It's so annoying. It's that time of the year where it just starts getting.
Yes.
Dude, I don't get those.
Oh, I do all the time.
The Libertarian Party. They kept calling me.
Smart.
And it was too much. They call all the time. I was like, no, I'm not giving you any money. And then like 2 weeks later, they'd call me back. No, I'm not giving you any money.
Dude,
all right,
I will
give
the wrong. I don't know. They don't have mine.
Did Sam freeze? Oh no, there he is. I don't know. It's just the Groyper thing is weird to me. I don't know if it's weird to y'all. Do you guys think? Wait, so I have this question. Do you guys think like white nationalism is on the rise? Like, would you say that?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I would say like maybe a Christian nationalism. I think that's actually on the rise of somewhat.
I think white nationalism is on the rise, but it's not like 1920s like lynch people white nationalism. It's a response to like a very real situation, which is that white people are now very literally being discriminated against in like what used to be a legitimate white supremacist country in the past. So it's different. It's not like dangerous, but it's viewed as dangerous by certain people.
Yeah.
Like but no, yeah, white nationalism, no, not as much. Yeah, like but white pride, yeah,
white pride is going to like be a thing. Like that's already happening.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't have said this years ago, but like I like being white. I'm proud to be white. I'm more proud to be Irish, but like I don't care. It's we live in a plurality country now, so it's not like the same thing. It's not like it doesn't need to be against anyone else for you to like be cool with your own people, and it's kind of out of necessity now. And it doesn't like I like other races too. I mean, obviously, I do a culture anthropology show. It wouldn't make any sense if I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's my public school education. I just never really cared about being white or not white or any of that. Maybe I was brainwashed early and it set in. Don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care that much either. It's just like it's a different like I don't know.
Yeah,
I get the reactionary side of it, but like at the same time, I'm like, ugh, cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not gonna ever be my personality.
Yeah, the bigger issue though is like we live under a democracy. And since we live under a democracy, now you have multiple different cultures and multiple different backgrounds, all demanding different things from the state. And now you're watching that all these handouts are going to all these minorities of this country. all of this is happening. And all this is happening in real time, and you're watching the majority of people of this country that are being discriminated against. So it's just like this huge backlash of like, okay, if you're just going to shit on me, then there's going to be this internal culture that builds that's like, we should be proud of who we are. We should not let these people treat us like this. We should not have the sins of our fathers for what they did. We should actually be proud of what our heritage has done and what have they brought to us. And like, so there is this sense that white people have that's just like, dude, we were here. We built this country. All these people pouring in, and now we have to pay for all of them and all these interest groups. And it's like, it's very strange. Like, it would be very strange, like 20 years ago, if you tell people like Ilhan Omar is going to be a congresswoman, like a Muslim. Like, this would be insane thinking. Like, people would freak out about this at the time. But now it's just normalized. It's normal
I mean,
to
yeah.
have all these different cultures in charge of this country. Like, this is not a normal country anymore. We have lost it.
Well, I think that was the whole point of that's what I'm saying. I feel like that was the whole point of this country. It's not a normal country. We got rid of kings and queens. We fucking destroyed it. We broke the cycle of feudalism. Like that was like the whole thing. It was this is a science experiment.
But now
Absolutely.
we're slaves to bankers.
And we were slaves to bankers then too. Like they were slaves to bankers. It was just on a different level. Like the banks, centralized banking isn't a revolutionary thought in the 20th century. Banking was always tied to the state.
Yeah,
money was always tied to the state.
Instead, now that when communists when they say the capitalists are in charge, what they are really saying is like the billionaire class, and they're not necessarily wrong.
No, that's what a capitalist is. It's a capitalist is in somebody who controls capital. It's not capitalist like somebody who believes in the ideology.
Free markets. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And since there's no central authority figure in the state, this is where people think there's a problem. And this comes from like monarchs believe this too. Like monarchists believe this just as much as the communists believe this. And so there were times in histories where the authority figure was the state. And the argument a lot of people nowadays are making that you need this authority to keep these institutions in check, or they're just going to dominate your society. And I think there is a real argument to that there is like people freaked out when Ron DeSantis was basically going after Disney because it's this private company. Well, they are a private company, but that is their defense that they are using to defend themselves against like manipulating children and like doing all weird stuff, right?
Right, but I don't think anybody's like arguing that corporations aren't, like evil.
So how do you stop them?
I mean, there's a whole bunch of different ways. Yeah, you can use the state. I mean, I didn't say that either. I didn't say eliminate the state. That's not what I said.
No, but that's the question though. Is like how do we put this system in check? Like, you know what I mean? Like how do we stop the corporations from doing all this to us in academies? Like that, and that's why people will argue that we need a central authority is what I mean.
Absolutely. Like I'm not saying that we Go ahead.
It can't happen in the current system, basically, which I think is where like the strongman thing comes in. I mean, it's not like I don't have a particular opinion on this. I don't really care. I'm more of, not that I don't care, but like I concentrate on what I think is going to happen based on the situation that we're in versus like thinking about what I want to happen, because that's not as interesting to me. But like I see us, the only way out of this is going into a dictatorship, and whether that is a dictatorship or like maybe even an oligarchy that's like actually going to help normal people, we'll have to see. But that's what's going to happen. Like you already see this, they're going mask off. Like the people that actually run the country are going quite a bit mask off, and the release of this information with P. Diddy and Drake and the music industry and like the culture of our country being, what it is. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, Luke, you know a lot about that. You should tell us about it.
So I don't know if anybody hasn't been paid attention, and most people don't. I love hip hop. I've always loved hip hop.
Poor white.
Poor white. Kendrick Lamar is one of my favorite rappers. He's dope, dude from Compton. He has legitimately been a gangbanger for most of his life until he got really big in music. He got one of his first big breaks was going on tour with Drake, and on that tour, in one of his songs, he takes a kind of a shot at Drake, but not really. And this was like 2000, I don't know, 2011, 2010, somewhere around there. And this is kind of where like this whole thing begins. And then I'll just jump into like where it's at now. But basically he took this shot at Drake. He took a shot at like some of the big guys. He's like, I'm coming for, you know, a typical hip hop song from an up and coming artist. I'm coming for the crown. I'm coming for the king seat, basically. And all the other rappers were like, this dude's dope. Like, he's cool. Even the guys that were mentioned in the song. And then Drake was like, I want an apology. And Kendrick was like, I'm not giving that to you. And then after that, it's been kind of like hands off with each other. They haven't been involved with each other.
That an apology is a really weird thing to ask for in rap.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's more because he just took it too, like, seriously. Like, he took the song too seriously, which, I mean, Drake's a softie. He's a Canadian fucking mixed breed.
Quick question,
you know, like
who's bigger, Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
Who's bigger?
Yeah.
They're both really big, but probably
they're both
Drake.
really big. Drake is like a international superstar. Kendrick is like a hip hop superstar. I guess that's like the differences. Kendrick Lamar is probably one of the, if not the best lyricist out, and could be heralded as one of the best. The dude's won Pulitzer Prizes. The dude gets studied in Harvard and fucking some of the best art schools in the country. Like, he
made a good movie too. He is extremely talented.
Yeah, so they're just different. Drake's like an international superstar though, so he's definitely bigger. But then we fast forward to today.
But Drake makes pop music, right? Like, he's not really a rapper. I know he calls himself a rapper. I know he's kind of in that, but like, I don't respect him as a rapper, whereas I respect Kendrick not only as a rapper. And like, that's not, I don't like rap that much, but I like Kendrick Lamar. I listen to him sometimes. And I think he's a really, really well-rounded, talented guy as well. Also, upstanding individual.
Yeah,
but sorry,
he's
continue.
actually pretty solid. No, he's actually a pretty solid dude, especially after he's, not gangbanging anymore. So, like, maybe he was not a solid dude before that. But, you are what your surroundings are. But anyways, so now we got, this week, there was a song that came out, and it was kind of like another shot at J. Cole, who's like another like lyric genius.
I like him
as well. It was from Kendrick Lamar, and I don't remember who else was on the song. I didn't pay attention, but Kendrick Lamar had a verse, and it basically was like the big three aren't the big three without me kind of deal, where like he's like, I'm still better than all these guys, and it's like pointed at Drake, J. Cole, and I think he was kind of like including himself in the big three. So like the big three ain't nothing without me kind of thing. And so after that, J. Cole came out with like a diss track back at Kendrick, and Drake didn't really say anything, was kind of like part of it, but didn't really say anything. And then Drake came out with his own after J. Cole's. And it seems like everybody was like, hey, J. Cole, you don't want to be involved in this. They got some beef, and it's not really directed at you. Don't take it too seriously. Because then J. Cole came out with like, hey, I'm backing away from this. I apologize. I didn't take it the right way. And kind of excluded himself from everything. And everybody kind of went after him for it. They're like, oh, he's a pussy. But then Kendrick comes out with like some real shit against Drake and like goes to town. He's talking about his daughter. He's talking about his son. He does a whole verse on his son and how his dad is a pedo. Go ahead.
No, it's just the track is fucking crazy. It's insane the stuff that he says.
It's a wild
and it's
song.
good.
He goes, yeah, it's so good, and it's like it's a lyrical, like the entendres in it. Like if you truly like rap or even poetry situations, because a lot of rap is that's what it is. It's poetry with a bass beat. Like that's how I.
The
see
good
it.
stuff is Kendrick, J. Cole, yes. Drake, pop garbage. My opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on it. And I mean, even if like so. Anyways, he comes out with this song. Drake comes out with "Meet the Family," and he accuses Kendrick Lamar of like beating his wife and not being there for his kids and stuff like that. Immediately after he releases that song, 5 minutes later, Kendrick Lamar releases this song called "Meet the Grahams," which is, if you don't know, Drake's name is Aubrey Graham. And he goes on, and in this song, he goes from his father's or is talking to Drake's father, and he's like, "You raised a shitty son. You should have been there for him, but too bad you were in prison." Then he goes to his Drake's son, who was like, shunned away from Drake for a long time. Drake acted like he didn't have a kid and all this stuff, but he has this like blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid comes out, and he talks to him, and he's like, "Your father's a piece of shit. He's a pedophile. You're not going to understand this now. Just play this back at 18." And then he has another verse that goes after Drake for having another kid that nobody knows about, but by the next day, everybody kind of thinks they found who she is.
In France,
and
right?
then I think in France, or lives somewhere near him in Toronto. It's like the two. I got two conflicting stories, but then after that, it was all just this pedophile shit that Drake has been accused of, and being a weirdo with women and this, that, or the other. And I mean, yeah, like that's kind of where it went. And then Drake had a diss back finally, and it basically was just like, "I'm not a pedo. I'm too rich. If I was a pedo, I would have already been arrested." He brings up Millie Bobby Brown because there was like a weird relationship between him and Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
And Kendrick didn't even bring up Millie Bobby Brown, and then he like also acted like
Guilty
he fed
conscience.
Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, he fed. Well, the whole song he's kind of telling on himself. And then if you look back at videos, people have done like really deep dives into this. You look back at videos. There's like a video of him on stage dancing really sexually on a girl on stage at one of his concerts, and then finds out that she's 16, and he's like, well, it was worth it or whatever. And he's like, there's multiple instances of him being like a weird pedo type guy. And so it's like blown up. And the big thing is like Kendrick Lamar came out with this whole song about all this stuff. And because of his profile and things like that, he could be sued for like a defamation case. But Kendrick Lamar is also really fucking good at this shit. He's a perfectionist when it comes to his music and what he says in it. And he doing this, they're pretty sure that he had to run and do like a bunch of lawyer work to be able to release that fucking diss. And when
so he can't get sued.
Yeah, so he can't get sued. And if he does get sued, it gets run through discovery. All the NDAs from Drake's sexual relationship that Drake talks about all the time will get brought up. All the stuff so like it's bad for Drake to go to court. So he basically just kind of has to deal with it or take the chance and risk it in court. So it's been crazy, but this is like this is bigger than Diddy, in my opinion. Maybe not. It's bigger than Diddy because Drake is bigger than Diddy. I think Diddy had more of like the blackmail type stuff, and Drake is more a fucking weirdo that has gotten really big and feels like he can do whatever he wants.
And he's mixed race too, which is like a thing here because he's like he's he dissed Eminem, which is like, I guess he's half white, but like normally they don't cross racial lines and stuff. So it is different.
It is different. And so it's kind of like what you were saying earlier. It's like there's more shit that's coming into our, like it's coming out and it's like brought up right in our fucking faces. I almost said some hella gay shit right there, but I caught myself. But more shit that's coming out, and with all these people, whether it's celebrities, politicians, people of really higher status, and it's interesting that it's all coming out like right now. Like this is especially for people that are musically inclined or like celebrity status, which are very much left-leaning people. I think that's crazy. There's always been a right-wing like pedo attachment there. It's been brought up in previous like generations, whether it was like the religious side of it or whether it was just right-wing politicians that are like secretly gay and have fetishes that do deal with like young kids. But now it's like very much swung the other way where I haven't seen as much, and maybe that's my algorithm or whatever, but I haven't seen as much go to the right recently as I've seen swing to the left.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit, and it does. I mean, I don't know. To me, it kind of feels like it's happening more frequently, and it's like a couple years ago. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe because we were kind of more politically aware since like 2019, but like so when the Epstein stuff was like coming out, we already kind of were hearing about it, and it didn't like surprise us. We were just like, oh, that makes sense. Like everyone was kind of thinking about
told
that.
us back in 1997.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, it's coming out of Hollywood. I mean, there's like, dude, and it's kind of crazy too, because Hollywood is so sick that it has all these problems, and then they make a documentary about it, and then they make money off the fucking documentary, dude. And you're like,
I still haven't watched the
like,
Nickelodeon one, and I really want to, but I think I'm just gonna be angry the whole time.
It's uncomfortable. It's
you are.
Really
yeah, it's really bad, especially because we grew up with those shows, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was watching. My sister was into Drake and Josh. I think I was too. I don't remember though.
I was. I really loved Drake and Josh.
Yeah, Drake and Josh was dope. Yeah. And it's just kind of one of those things where, I mean, it's always been pervasive in those communities throughout history. More eclectic, artsy, left-brained communities have always had, I mean, at least from what I've read historically, it's always been, it's just been a little bit different than blue-collar, everyday people. I don't know how else to explain it. But hip hop is interesting too because it's such a aggressive and like black male dominated field that a lot of gay stuff doesn't play well.
Well, apparently they're all gay.
Well, I know there's that too. But like pedophilia doesn't play well because if you go to the pen, like they're fucking up people in the pen for child stuff. Like so it's interesting when it comes out in this community specifically because even when it's in there, even when it's inside neighborhoods or stuff like that, those people get fucking drugged through the streets. Less so I see in white communities, to be honest.
Well, yeah, because white people don't handle shit like that, and they're wrong for it.
Yeah. I think you should drag them through the streets. Drag the pedophiles through the streets.
Yeah, that's a hot take, Luke.
This is where white people are wrong. We let them live in our neighborhoods. What the fuck? They just get a little dot.
Yeah. I don't know. White people do it with other ways,
Yeah, passive aggressively, like little bitches.
Yeah, or like the court in this case. Is kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, well,
like white people have more of an ability to keep them out.
Yeah. They just put up flyers in a 10, 15 mile radius and tell them that they've moved in.
Right.
But it's interesting because there has been cases, this whole thing coming out is interesting because there has been cases where people's music tends to lead to either criminal arrests or at least people looking into criminal activity from words and artists like music.
Bro, they just arrested Biggie's murderer. It was 25 years ago.
No way, they did?
No, last summer.
I didn't know that. I didn't hear about that.
It was like last summer. They were like, we finally got the Biggie guy. And it was like, oh, great.
He's been talking about it in his music for years. But
wait, who is it? Was it Suge Knight or something?
No, it was this. I'm sure it was somebody who was paid by somebody, but no, he just is going to the grave with saying it was just himself, I guess. Or I don't even know if he talked. Like the feds just were like, "It's this guy," which I don't even believe, but that's what happened. So
Damn.
I still
Cat
think it's
Williams
badass
talked about
that
this stuff a
Tupac's
lot.
alleged last words were "fuck you." It's based.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Dude, I
sweet.
think
That was Tupac.
there's like,
the cop. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is that who killed him?
No. So the guy whoever killed Tupac, the cops were the first ones. It was right on the strips. The cops were right there. So the one cop was like literally like cradling Tupac as he was like laying dead, like essentially like a movie. Not really, but like a movie. And he's like, "Who did this to you?" And he's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, he literally just said
That's a true
"fuck
story.
you."
That's 100% true story. Yeah, but I knew that story
It's
from
baller,
years
dude.
ago, way before the documentary and shit. Because one of the guys I used to work with, it was just like a story that kind of traveled across the country through the police departments, and like I would tell that story like in 2009 or 2010. Like I knew that for fucking years.
Wow.
It was always a
wild.
story.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that from a young age, just because I was a poor white, so I hung out with the black kids, and they told me.
They found out from the cops.
But yeah, no, and you know, like Cat Williams has been like really big in this shit recently too. He was the one talking about Diddy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
somebody brought up a case against Diddy. They went to sue Diddy, and that's why he got caught. Was because that case got opened up in court to sue him in civilian court, and it brought in a criminal investigation, and that's how he got caught.
It's like the Bill Cosby thing. It was Hannibal Buress made a
Yeah.
throwaway joke at a set one time that wasn't even being filmed. Someone just filmed his set. And it was like Bill Cosby raping
Yeah.
those bitches. And was like, what? He's like, "You
Wait,
guys don't
time
know
out,
about that?" Yeah, dude, it was wild.
I
Yeah.
went and
Just
hung
at the
out with
right
my
time
parents.
for the
Oh,
culture.
go ahead, Zane. Yeah.
No,
I
it's
was
just
gonna
the right
say,
time for the culture.
I went and hung out with my parents this weekend in Dallas, and we were talking about it, and they were like, we were talking about old shows, and they're like, we loved the Cosby Show growing up, and haven't been able to find it anywhere, like it doesn't come on TV or anything like that. They're not like I'm avidly looking for it or anything, but you just haven't been able to find it, and they're like, it's finally started to show up in places, and I was like, well, yeah, that's because he just got released from prison for like health reasons. And they're like, he got released from prison? I was like, yeah, you didn't know?
Oh, it was off a technicality. Not a health
Yeah.
reason. It was a technicality.
Oh yeah, it was a technicality. You're right.
They were like, "We won't arrest you if you tell us." He's like, "All right," and they're like, "Ah, got him," and they're like, "Oh, that's mad illegal." You can't do that.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's the ultimate power corrupts ultimately, and I don't know why ultimate power has a weird way of going after, kids. And the thing is like these people can fucking get with whoever they want. Like for the most part, Bill Cosby could have divorced his wife and got with whoever he wanted. He lost all his money. He probably could have told his wife,
It's about the
I'll
power.
just pay for your expenses. I know it is, and that's what it is. It's
He's a
about
predator.
power and and just having something over
It's not
somebody.
normal. Yeah, normal people can't
So-
comprehend it because it's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense to somebody who doesn't have a broken, evil brain like these sexual
Yeah.
abusers, like Drake, apparently,
Drake.
allegedly.
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 Yeah.
Are you guys watching Tom Brady roast at all? By the way,
I watched
a
the-
little bit.
The best one was, best part I think was
Let's play that.
what's his face from Tony Hinchcliffe.
I was actually going to
Oh,
say,
Tony.
out of all, I didn't actually finish it yet. To be fair, because it's 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But out of all the non-comics, Drew Bledsoe did great, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He was like one of the better.
Oh, he was pretty
non-comics.
funny.
Yeah, and then out of all the comics, Nikki Glazer and Tony Hinchcliffe fucking crushed. I mean, absolutely, legit crushed the room. Like legit crushed the forum. They fucking, they went hard in the paint. They were like, "Fuck it." They were like calling them gay and faggots and shit. Like it was fucking wild. It was fucking wild. Yeah, like they were just like.
I'm surprised Netflix allowed it. Like parts
Dude,
of
Dana
that.
White's calling them like trans liberal cucks. Like no one gave a fuck. It was pretty like not woke at all. Like there's zero, wokeness of it for sure.
It was,
and no one gave a fuck. No one gave a fuck.
I love it. I love it. I thought it was pretty funny that they made multiple hanging jokes. Like Julian Edelman made a hanging joke. He was like, "We have two
About
like,
Hernandez.
Yeah, about Aaron Hernandez. Like the joke about Gronk's dick size, and he was like, "I don't know how well he's hung, but we do have another tight end in the organization that he was hung pretty well," or something like that.
Oh.
Julian Edelman also opened up with this. I mean, again, he's not writing these jokes, but like he opened up with like he goes, "I'm not going to make Kevin Hart jokes about being short. I'm going to make jokes about him being black." I was like, "God damn." I was like, "All right."
Well,
We're doing this.
He got attached to Diddy a few times. He caught Diddy strays a couple times during that fucking. They're like, "That's your boy, right, Kevin?" I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, dude, they for real. I thought this roast was gonna be gay, like gonna be kind of weak, like And they, after the Nikki Glazer Tony Hinchcliffe set, I was like, "Good on you guys." They absolutely fucking just went into. I don't know if we're gonna get pulled for this.
This is on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Tom is afraid of the Giants, which is why Kevin Hart is hosting tonight. All night, he's been using
That's Panda him is so funny.
the stool that Aaron Hernandez kicked out from under himself. Kevin is so small that when his ancestors picked cotton, they called it deadlifting.
Oh,
yeah, dude.
It's amazing.
Oh, that's crazy. I don't know. That guy's not laughing. Pharrell.
Willie McGinnis was. It's fine.
Yeah, and that's the only one that
so is
matters.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart's laughing.
Yeah.
Dude, look how Tom Brady is
Brady's
sitting.
like-
He looks so feminine.
Oh, actually,
Dude,
the Tom Segura Burt Kreischer part were terrible, but they had one really funny bit where they pulled up an old like model picture of Tom Brady where he's like shirtless holding a football like this, like up against the camera. It's very gay, and they're just like trashing you for being gay. But Burt actually said a very funny line. He goes, "What were you, pregnant in this photo?" And I was like, "God damn, that was good." Because it looked like a pregnant, it's like
like a pregnancy photo.
Yeah, soon to be. Like, yeah, that was a good one. But he's not funny. But that was a good, good one. That was a good line.
He's
Though.
not
But
funny
Broken
at all.
clock. You're right, everyone's.
yeah, broken. Exactly. Yeah.
Tom
But
Brady is a patriot, which is surprising considering he looks like a Confederate fag.
Confederate
Insane.
fag.
yeah, dude.
I
That's
can't believe
awesome.
they said it. I can't like it's just and I mean, in our circles, everybody says shit like this. Like it's
Right.
not that crazy. We grew up with this. So, but like Tony Hinchcliffe maybe gets the pass because he's gay, I guess. So he can say it.
I just don't think he cares.
I don't think he does either. He's independent from them.
He's good. Like his fan base is
really
like, "You
fast.
said fag? We're not going to be fans
Yeah.
of Just Kill Tony anymore." Like, no, man, they're there for that.
Yeah, they want
Yeah.
that specifically. That's an
Yeah.
amazing comment. Tom sits like someone who kisses their son on the lips. That was that should have been used in the roast. Like I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that should have been a joke in the roast.
Oh, real quick, Sam, before you can do the Tony Hinchcliffe thing, Jeff Ross opened up the whole show kind of like that was the first roaster, and he made a Robert Kraft getting jerked off massage parlor joke, and Tom Brady literally stood up, leaned into Jeff Ross, and said, "Don't say that shit again." And Jeff Ross was like, "All right," like it was real.
Oh shit! I didn't see that.
It was super real.
Oh.
I just saw the one that I thought was really funny was Tom Brady making fun of or making the reference of Bill Belichick leaving that girl's house shirtless at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Have you seen that video?
What?
Yeah, I remember the video. I didn't see I didn't see the whole roast. I didn't see everything yet.
Yeah.
But I do remember that video.
You haven't gotten to Tom Brady's part. Yeah, he made a little stick at that, and I was like, savage. Like they're bringing out some Patriots like old school drama.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, go ahead, Sam.
I might have to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Your ex-wife takes after you. I hear she's out there draining balls right now. People love you, Tom. You have the same fan base as Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yes.
Frank, I'm happy you could take a break from writing Santa letters to be here today. I knew you were here when we were all out of chocolate milk backstage. You look like the final boss in George Floyd, the video game.
Oh,
That's a
dirty.
Only watches football for the coin toss. Nikki has such a bad eating disorder, the industry keeps shoving her down our throat. You might recognize her from her podcast appearances, specials, and winning the Triple Crown at Churchill Downs. You might recognize Kevin,
like a
the jockey
horse.
that rode her. And that's Churchill Downs, the racetrack, not to be confused with what Jeff Ross looks like when he smokes a cigar.
Oh.
Jay, an obese African-American lesbian. So by having here, Netflix checked off a lot of boxes.
Oh.
Andrew Schultz, I'm glad you took a break from watching YouTube videos on how to dap up black dudes correctly. Schultz's mom is a professional ballroom dancer, which means she's a stripper that talks too much. Bert Kreischer is a king. He looks like if the Tiger King and the Liver King only ate Burger King and had a liver that looked like Martin Luther King got beat up by Rodney King. And great
joke.
Ron Burgundy, huh? A whale's vagina, which reminds me, Kim Kardashian's here. She got a lot of black men celebrating her end zone. Kim, word of advice, close your legs. You have more public beef than Kendrick and Drake.
Oh.
Thank you guys.
The rhyming.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Netflix.
Oh no, that little set that he had was phenomenal. Like that was like peak of Hinchcliffe's career right there.
Yeah, man. I really admire like he's an asshole, but I really admire Tony for like compared to Tom and Bert especially. They were great comic. Well, Bert never was, but Tom was a great comic. Bert at least had like a good personality, but so many of these other guys, they just drop off of doing like the real work when they get famous, and they just concentrate on the money and fame. And like Tony loves that clearly, but even though like he makes so much money from Kill Tony, he doesn't stop putting in reps like as a stand-up comic. He still very much is in the art of that, and that is huge for him and his success, I think. And why he hasn't dropped off like Tom and Bert. People are furious with that, man.
Yeah, that Rodney King bit, or that whole King bit, was just, that was like punchline.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm gonna say a word, punchline, and I was like, God damn, he fucking killed it on that.
It was so
that
good.
delivery was perfect.
It was great. And again, Nikki Glaser had a really good set. She was very funny. Some of them really crushed. But I figured Tony Hinchcliffe would do well, but he really is swung for the fences.
Yeah, I can't believe I honestly can't believe how many strays Kim Kardashian took in that fucking roast though. She took so many strays. She took almost as many strays as she's taken black dudes in her vagina.
She got booed. She got introduced, and the people were like, "Boo!"
I know.
She's like barely famous now.
She got booed so bad that Kevin Hart was like, "All right, guys, like leave her alone."
Jesus.
Yeah. It was
Well,
wild.
she ruins great sports stars. Like, what do you expect? And rappers.
And Kanye.
Yeah. And rappers.
Dude,
So,
I've been on a Kanye kick recently. I've been listening to just like
old stuff,
college dropout, late registration and graduation, 3 great albums. And I'm just like, man, we'll never get this again, and that's such a bummer. Like she ruined this. She took this from us.
I know. His new album was all right. It was pretty good, but it's just not. I want the old Kanye.
The God one?
No, that's. So he just came out. He just came out with one this year, and it's like it's more.
Oh,
like
that one. Yeah. It's.
Is that Vultures?
It's just graduation so good.
Like
it's so hard to like.
I was listening to the Disses by Kendrick Lamar, and I was like, all right, I'm making a playlist. It's To Pimp a Butterfly and Graduation and College Dropout and Mad City, all just in one playlist on my Spotify, and I've been listening to that for the last 2 days.
Yeah, so good, dude. So good. You could literally see when he met Kim, the trail off of bad music, like from there. Like it's like the
gospel shit was wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
The gospel shit was wild.
Some of those songs are actually pretty good.
Yeah, they are. But it was just like
that one song, Follow
weird...
God. It's like a minute and a half. It goes pretty hard.
Yeah. When he was coming out with all that, the videos of him at like big shows doing it, and it had like all of his boys around him. I was like, dude, he's living his fucking dream right now. But we'll never get college dropout Kanye back again after this.
Never. It's such a bummer. It's like I remember
God
being in
ruins
like
people, guys.
Dude, I remember being in high school.
He's like on
and
some satanic shit now.
Yeah, he flipped. He went 180.
Yeah. The Jays will do that to you
Disappointing.
guys.
Yeah, it looks like. I mean, I don't know if it's really going to be porn, but he did say like there is like easy porn coming out. Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. That could be a
I don't-
metaphor or something.
I don't know if that was a bit.
Yeah,
Right, he could have been trolling hard. I hope he was. I hope he doesn't become like
I hope
the
it's
whole.
a bit.
I hope it's a bit so much. I like Kanye. I just wanted to go back to 2007. It's kind of what I'm getting at. To go back to 2006, 2007. Music was good. The world was still good.
The music was still good. We always
was
talk
good.
about that. Like, it was. The music was so good. Hip hop
Dude, it
was
started
great.
getting-
Rock music
started
was
getting
killing it.
trash around like 2010ish. Around like after that, it started getting fucking gay and trash.
Yeah, well, and I kind of see like after the last like once the housing market crashed, like I feel like the culture of the United States just plummeted. We were just like,
Nothing.
none of
ever been this
us have any good ideas anymore. We're just gonna make shit,
Yeah, it's pretty
and we just
terrible.
double down on the shit.
Dude, now it's all about
So.
just beats. Like lyrics are terrible now. Like
Yeah,
That's why I
Like,
appreciate
he's
Kendrick
so good.
Lamar so much, dude. And J. Cole still holding it down, but they're not as popular as somebody like Drake that's making bullshit.
yeah, Drake sucks.
yeah. That's why I like Metro Boomin. He only gives his beats to like guys that lyrically go pretty fucking hard, and he's got some of the best beats in the game. So that's my shit. I fucking love hip hop. I don't care. I'm a poor white, so I'm cool with
Yep,
that. I'll own
I
it.
grew up with hip hop too. I'm a Staten Island Italian kid. That's we also grew up with hip hop. That's how
Yeah,
it went.
you freaking guinea.
I was a wigga before it was cool. Before there was a word for it. I was just the white boy.
Okay, Vanilla Ice was in the 80s, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, but nobody called him wigga.
Yeah,
He was
No.
just a white boy.
yeah. How about those
So,
Rangers, son?
I don't
How
know.
about those Rangers? Cunt.
Fuck the Rangers.
Did they? Oh, they won. I
They
haven't
won the
paid
other
attention
night.
to any
They
hockey.
won. They won yesterday, but Sam's talking shit before the game.
Yeah, what was up with the Bruins thing? You were talking about Bruins right at the beginning. Did they beat the Bruins? Is that what happened?
No, the Bruins
won.
they're
their
in the
game 7.
yeah, they won 4-3 in the series. They almost got upset by the freaking
so good. We won 5 games in
the
a row,
Leafs.
though.
Shut up, nerd.
Our sports talk. You gotta get a little time.
Yeah, Kyle's not here, so.
yeah. This would have been the best episode to talk about sports. But
Yeah, we
did-
should talk about
we
sports
saved-
more at the end.
And we saved it for when Kyle's back.
That's so funny. It's kind of like we did it on
We just-
purpose, but we really didn't.
Yeah, we just started out next time. Started out with Kyle there and be like, Kyle, how do you feel about the NFL draft this year?
Are the Knicks winning right now?
Oh, who'd the Giants?
Is it-
hit?
Tie game. Fuck.
Hairs.
Who'd the
New
Giants?
York
The
City.
Giants did?
Giants got Malik Neighbors,
yeah,
sir.
Neighbors.
They got
That's right.
they got Tyler Nubin, the best safety in the draft, also out of Minnesota. And
Cooper
we
Mazine's
got
the
a
best safety in the draft.
he's a cornerback. He's a cornerback. He's a cornerback, and that's
Yeah.
cooler. Okay, that's way cooler.
For now.
And we got no, stop it. And then we got
Don't
we
do
got
this
we got
to me.
another corner too. That's pretty decent. So we got tight end also and O lineman. So that's at the end
Tight
of
end,
that.
Tom.
Yeah. You didn't fill your biggest position hole though. There, did you?
That's
Adam?
I'm telling you right now.
Quarterback.
They because they didn't want to pass on Neighbors. I think because truly between Marvin Harrison and Neighbors and Odunze, whatever the fuck his name is, they're all like number 1 wide receiver picks, honestly.
Yeah.
But they all happen to be in the same draft, right? So it was kind of like so. I think the Giants saw Neighbors and were like, we're not passing that up. We're just gonna.
We can deal with Daniel Jones
Yes.
for one more year.
That's dude. And then next year it's going to be draft 100% a quarterback or make a trade or a free agency. Like there's no way he's going to be a Giant in 2026. Like there's 0% chance.
Do you think they told Neighbors, they're like, hey buddy, it's gonna be a rough season.
Yeah.
We want you here. We'll get you a quarterback next season.
Yeah. It's wild because like Odell gets Eli Manning and then fucking Neighbors comes
Fresh
down and
up.
gets Daniel Jones. It's like such a fucking downgrade.
I know,
Sucks.
it's crazy.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be a stud. I think he's going to do well this year too, even with Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
He's that good. But yeah, no, he won't be a Giant.
Freya,
Sure, he will
come
not
here.
be a Giant.
Yeah. Dude, I'm pretty happy with the Bears draft.
No, you guys. I mean, A plus
Yeah.
plus draft is disgusting. The Falcons
Yeah.
gave you Rome Odunze. Like they just gave him to you.
I
That's
know.
crazy.
That was crazy.
They picked Phoenix.
no
He
one-
could have been there in the, like, I don't know. That's wild. I can't believe
I
they
know,
picked
and
Phoenix.
I hate to say this because I'm a Giants fan, and I also hate Sam. But the Eagles had a really good draft too, and it disgusts me.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, they had a really good draft.
Yeah.
They got the best corner in the draft in with what's his name? McKinney? Not Cooper, the other kid, their first pick. I can't think of his fucking name.
They
He's
picked
best
2
corner in the
corners,
draft.
which is great.
And then Cooper DeJean's legitimately good. So like and they picked up another guy who's fucking good too. I forgot, but like they got
I'm pretty
3
sure
really good
the
picks.
only reason Cooper DeJean dropped was because he was white. Like he was.
That's
was
good
the
for
number
us
one-
because
I
he
think
could
you're right.
be more skilled.
Corner. He was the number 1 corner in college football. Like he was like
Well,
on all of his ratings, he was the best corner.
I do think that other kid they got was better. Actually, the kid from Toledo,
Yeah.
the number 1 pick. I think he is better, but like by like that much of a margin. Like it's not like he's blown
Yeah.
away better than Cooper. But Cooper, I would say, is the second best corner in the draft. And the fact that he got taken like 6 out of corners is nuts. That was a fucking steal.
Yeah.
The Eagles traded up for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
they
smart.
they
It
was
was
a
a great
weird
move.
trade up, but it worked out.
I was at a restaurant when that happened.
I think they
watching
did quite a
on
bit.
the bar TV, and I was like, Eagles trade up. I'm like, if they take Cooper DeJean, I'm gonna die inside. And they're like, the Eagles
I was so
24th
pissed.
pick. I'm like, no.
I'd rather watch him on any other team. Literally
and then the
any other team,
Commanders
I'd
get
rather
Luke
watch him.
McCaffrey. They draft his brother. I'm like, what? They're all going to my enemies. All these guys are going to my enemies. And then the Cowboys got no one. I was like, yeah, fuck you, Dallas.
Yeah. Dude, they didn't do any. Like, their draft was. I don't even know who they drafted.
Yeah, nobody.
to be
No,
honest.
truly. Out
I
of
think they
NFC
drafted an O lineman.
Out of the NFC East, truly, the Eagles, Giants, and Commanders all had really good drafts, and then Dallas had nobody, and that makes me so fucking happy. I fucking hate Dallas. Yeah,
They're planning on running it back with what they have, which is trash. And Ezekiel
Trash.
Elliott. They brought back Ezekiel Elliott. Crazy.
Yeah, feed me more. Feed him what? Dumb truck of food. He's fat as fuck. He's so fat now.
I know. He did the who was it? Ahmad, no, it wasn't Ahmad Green. Who was right after Ahmad Green on the Packers, who was really good, and then he just blew up.
Ryan Grant?
No, it wasn't Grant. This guy was in Phoenix
Eddie
for
Lacy.
a while.
No.
Eddie Lacy. Yeah, it was Eddie Lacy.
Okay,
it was
yeah.
Eddie Lacy because he came to Phoenix afterwards, and he was still saying that he wasn't on the team.
He was
He
fat,
just
too.
had like, yeah, he got really fat, but he was in like we hung out. We didn't hang out with him, but our buddy hung out with him a few times at the bars in like Scottsdale, and he was like, yeah, this dude's fat as fuck now. He keeps saying he's going back in the NFL, but there's no way he's going into the NFL again.
Oh, that sucks.
No.
Yeah, he was fat. He got real big,
No,
and that's why the
that was-
Packers cut him.
Yeah, they gave him a chance too. They gave him like a 2-year chance. Like, hey, stop being fat because you play running back. And he's like, got it.
Yeah.
And he just kept getting fatter. And they're like, dude, we told you twice.
Crazy.
Like, what are you
It's just
doing?
crazy.
Another fat running back. Oh, I can't think of his fucking name now.
There's only
hold
one
on.
good fat running back, Jerome Bettis, the bus.
No, who was that dude who played for the Titans? His name was like Nickel or something. Oh man, somebody in the chat help me out. This was like mid 2000s.
You're asking the wrong chat, bro.
I know. He fucking played for Alabama, I think, or USC. He was the other running back with Reggie White. Lendell White.
Lendell White, yes.
Lendell White. Wow, that
trying to
was
look it up.
autism football came through there, but it worked out. Lendell White. He got fat as fuck. He was always big in college, but then he got fat as fuck on the Titans. And they were like, dude, you can't be this fat. This is crazy.
Well, and then after that, they got Derrick Henry, and everybody was like, oh shit, they just drafted another fat running back, but Derrick Henry's not fat. He's just a freak of a human being.
He's just an actual,
Henry's
not
so
even a
great.
human being. He's like a Viltrumite
No.
from Invincible. Running around. Dude, people run into him and die. They run into him and explode. That's how fucking
It
strong.
was so crazy because then their next running back draft pick was Tyjae Spears, who is like the smallest fucking running back in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were doing
don't know.
a type of wind and fire or or earth and wind type thing with that. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna pound it and then he's gonna be the quick guy. I mean, that was the Giants won the fucking Super Bowl that way with Ahmad Bradshaw, Derek Ward, and fucking Brandon Jacobs. It was Earth, Wind, and Fire. They had 3 different running backs.
I just feel bad when I have to watch those safeties have to come try to tackle Derrick Henry. I always feel bad for them, like watching him fly down and he just like stiff arm throws them across the field.
The best
like,
is when corners have to tackle him and they're just like,
Can you imagine
how?
Did you imagine Cooper DeJean versus fucking Derrick Henry? That's just a hate crime.
But like the truth is, like
it's the only time there'll be a black on white hate crime.
We could all tackle Derrick Henry. It's just you got to get him at the right angle. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like you got to go low and hit him on the feet. If he gets his arm out to you before then, you're fucking dead. And if you try to square up with him, you're fucking dead. You have to be super smart about it. But you could do it.
Yep.
Like we had this. Okay, so this is high school football, but it's the best comparison I had when I was playing high school football. Because even in like the semi-pro level, like no one was like that much bigger than me. It's because like you're an adult by that point, and you're working out more, so everyone's kind of the same size. But in high school, we had this kid in our team named Ali Agbu. I think he eventually got to the Eagles practice squad at one point, and eventually he's never like got to the pro squad, but he did get pretty decently far. In high school,
Agbu, was he like Nigerian?
Yeah, but he's American, but like his first generation American.
Right.
Yeah, he was a monster. A monster. And, we're all a bunch of fucking Italian and Irish Catholic kids in fucking Staten Island. And he's just like some fucking absolute unit who's like, I'm playing football with you guys now. He was a year younger than me. So my senior year, he was a junior, and he was, obviously on the varsity with me. But like on scrimmage day, he played running back and D tackle. So on scrimmage, I played safety. So on scrimmage days, it'd be like, all right, go stop Ollie. And it's like, okay. And he would just run right through the fucking line every time. And he would crush me, but eventually you just get the point and you go, I just got to go super low and wrap his fucking feet up, and then he can't stop me. And then eventually I just tackle him every single fucking time. So it just becomes like repetition. But if you're not used to going up against Derrick Henry every game, he's gonna fuck you up. Like that's what it comes down to.
Or if you just get caught a little out of position, you're getting fucked.
You're fucked. And that same thing happened against Ali too. Like I would be like, I got him, and I'd come in and I'd just get a fucking shoulder to my head. I'm like, just like looking at the sky, being like, nah, he got me that time.
That's where some of those concussions came from.
100%. Oh, not kidding. 100%. Yes, meeting him in the gap, in the A gap, a few times, 100% knocked me unconscious. Like you'd just be laying there, like looking at the clouds. And deep. I remember my DB coach, he was like, "Nutter, get up." I'm like, I can't. Like I just have to lay here for a second.
I think I see Tweety Bird right now,
dude. This was the day they didn't give a fuck. Like, and there was legitimately like still the days of like you will lose your position if you don't like tough it out, like 100%. So I remember like I remember I think I told the story before on Cult for sure. I don't know if I told it on here, but senior year we're playing this team who was our easy win every year. This team named Bishop Ford. They were dog shit, right? They were every year we're like, oh, we're playing Bishop Ford this week. We didn't have to practice. We could just show up to this game and fucking absolutely house this team, right? So we never took them seriously. And we were up by like, I don't know, 30 points by this point. And, our coach, he wasn't a believer of taking the starters out. So I was on the field most of the game. And he was even making me play fucking kickoff and kick return still. I was like, this is crazy. We're up 30 points. Take me out of this fucking game. Like, this is crazy. So we're doing fucking kickoff. And I am, again, not taking these kids seriously. We're up legitimately like three touchdowns by this point. And I am just running down the field because I'm like, I'm going to fucking kill this kid. And the next thing I know is I am just picking myself up off the ground like on all fours. And my fucking face mask was physically moved like Daffy Duck when he gets shot in the face. Like to the side. And I was like, what the fuck happened? And I remember like walking back to the sideline trying to like fix my face mask out. Clear as day, I'll never forget this. My DB coach is just standing at the sideline doing this. And I'm like, why? He's like, get back to we are on defense. You play safety. Get back to your position. I was like, oh, okay. Like just trying to fix my fucking didn't pull me from the game. They didn't give a fuck.
No.
They didn't give a fuck, dude. Like they were like, no, we gotta finish the game. What are you doing? I was like,
you just get blindsided? There's somebody just blindsided the fuck out of you?
I watched the film that week and I was like, oh, I just wasn't paying attention because I don't take this team seriously, and this kid fucked me up. This kid just
He was pissed. He was like, "This
unloaded on me.
motherfucker's been on the field the whole game, and he's still in, and he's not paying attention. Fuck this guy."
Complete crackback block, and that was still totally legal back in 2004.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this kid just straight crackback blocked me, and fuck, I was just like, ah. It's like, I'll never do that. I don't remember getting hit. I just remember picking myself off the ground.
It's the
Like,
worst
he knocked
feeling.
me unconscious
It's
for
the
like 3
worst
seconds.
feeling.
Yeah,
Worst feeling.
crazy.
Yeah.
Good old days. I miss them though. I miss those days.
All right. Well, should we do our plugs?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes. Is that consensus? Silence is consent. Is that what
Yeah.
we're doing now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we, Typo and I, on Biting the Bullet, just had the man, the myth, the legend, Adam Nutter on our show. It was a good show. We had a lot of cop stories. It was fun. We got a different side of Adam Nutter.
Yeah, we
We
learned
got
a
a
lot
different
about
side
it.
of Adam Nutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learned we deep dived into Adam's history on this show, so you guys should go and watch that. We also had Basil on last week. Well,
He's a man.
the episode that should have come out last week, but it kind of got like mixed around. So we got that episode out. Adams is coming out, I think, Wednesday, and then yeah, that's for Biting the Bullet.
Nice. Good. Follow me on Twitter at Adam Nutter. Thank you, please. Cult of Us podcast. Drop a new episode tomorrow, and then we're recording again tomorrow also. So new episode this week. YouTube.com/Cult of Us. Please subscribe. Thank you. It comes see me do comedy in Philly the next 2 weekends. So come on out, and then other shit. I'm actually Robbie and Bernstein and I, Doylestown, Pennsylvania, June 7th. I'm doing that with Robbie. So come on out to that.
Wow.
And yeah, other shit too. So go follow me.
Wait, where's yours and Robbie Bernstein's at?
Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
He's doing his porch tour shit, and I live 20 minutes from there. So he was like, "You want to do this with me?" I was like, "Yeah."
Oh yeah.
Does he? How
Wednesday.
Far, sorry, how far west does he go for his porch tour?
I think he does the whole country.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm also working on doing something with Josh Smith out in Iowa. So I'll announce that whenever the fuck we figure that out. But yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Let me know about that as well. That would be a
No.
good one. If all right, never mind.
So you can
Go
not
fuck
come to that
yourself.
too, you scumbag.
Maybe. Yeah. Then now definitely. Typo.
What you got, Sam?
And Typo and I are starting a book club, which has been much requested on the Illegitimate Scholar channel. So we're going to be starting that live Wednesday at what, 7 o'clock? 8 o'clock?
Are you guys reading it out loud? Are you guys reading
We're
it
reading.
out loud?
No, we're talking about the book. We're going to be launching it. The book is the true history of the American Revolution. We're going to be reading it together. And you can find that book linked. I mean, you can find it yourself, but you can find it linked on my Discord and on my Twitter. And we're going to be going live Wednesday night for that. All right. Sweet.
How much have you got?
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.
What was your question?
How much have you guys read already?
None.
I'm
We're
not
doing like
ready.
the pre-thing on Wednesday, so then people can read it.
Okay, gotcha.
And then we'll discuss it. We're going to do a Twitter space with it. I don't know what I just did, but we're done now.
All right.